Welcome everyone. This is Zozo StockWatch, and this is your StockWatch list for Wednesday, the 22nd. As we edge closer to Thanksgiving, don't forget the markets are closed Thursday, November 23rd for Thanksgiving, and half a day on Friday. So that's your reminder for Thanksgiving and Friday, half a day, Thanksgiving, Thursday, markets are closed. Let's go ahead and get into it. We'll check some of these stocks and the after hours. We had some earnings after hours, some from some good names. We had Salesforce, CRM, and they guided up earnings per share and revenue beat. The stock popped and then slowly gave it away on Salesforce, so that one moved down. Meg Whitman is leaving the role as a CEO from HPQ. Hewlett Packard. So that stock, they had earnings also, but on the news of Whitman, excuse me, leaving, that stock moved down, and then HPE also moved down on the news. So those two stocks were down in the after hours. GameStop, GME beat by 10 cents. They beat on revenue, beat on earnings. The stock popped and then pulled back, but ground its way or grinded its way back up here on GameStop. Next up, we'll take a look at Dry Ships. They had earnings after the bell, DRYS, and that stock basically kind of imploded after the bell. Big sell-off there on Dries as their earnings were not very good for Dry Ships. GES earnings per share, Guess Jeans earnings per share beat, revenue miss. And that stock was down in the after hours, a retailer selling off. And they also were on their conference call, so that stock sold off. Dry Ship slides 11% as losses tripled in the third quarter there for Dry Ships. And once again, this news is courtesy of the trade exchange. The API crude oil numbers came out, API data, and oil was actually up a little bit. USO, the ETF, crude had a drawdown of 6.356 million barrels for crude oil. So the USO and oil was up on that API crude data. That came out at 4:30 this afternoon. Let's see if there was any other news. Let's see. AXTA reportedly may have received other offers. All right, so AXTA was very volatile in the after hours. As you can see, it tumbled down here, but then reportedly they got other offers on that name. And I'm just scrolling back because at one point it came out and said, it wasn't taking any other offers. And now they are saying that they are taking other offers. So you can see the algos had fun with this AXTA. They drove it down and drove it back up. So, that one might be on watch for tomorrow, AXTA. In some of your syndicate news that came out after the bell tonight, OUT lowers term loan interest rates. SNSS filed Form 42B5, 5 million shares of common stock. So basically, that's an offering. And then IBIO, same thing, common stock registered for an offering here on IBIO. Next up, let's see, Hewlett Packard had their conference call at 5:30, so that's pretty much over with. It's 7:25 my time, and that was pretty much it. A few earnings came out after the bell, Dry Ships, and the earnings that we went through, but pretty quiet there for news after the bell, as you can imagine, as we get closer to the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm just scrolling through to see if there was anything. Shutterfly had a little bit of news there after the bell. That stock moved up today and a little bit further after the bell on Shutterfly. And then SNES announces closing public offering. SNES. That stock didn't do too much in the after hours. All right, and then let's go ahead and go through our top gainers today, and this is also courtesy of thetradeexchange.com, thetradeexchange.com. CLSN was a nice winner today. OSUR, CMCM on their earnings. MTP. KTOV had a nice pop today on that name. Riot, very nice pop. A blockchain stock. HIMX gave a nice pop today. GWPH also up today. PTN, a small name under $1, also popped today on their news. And then some of the losers. Cigna Jewelers down a lot today, 30% there on Cigna SIG. And then some other losers. We had BITA, BITA, Tivix, TVIX, NLNK, and Under Armour continued down today on Under Armour. We'll take a look at some of the options activity, unusual options activity today. We had TRIP. TRIP, HIMX, and that's kind of what moved that stock up. HIMX, ICPT, Zynga had call activity, and we spoke about Zynga in previous videos to watch for that 4 break, and it actually finally broke 4 and moved up. UNP and PDFS, also unusual call activity in those names. To the put side, we had MA. We also MasterCard, WBA, and CHRW. So those are some of the names that had unusual put activity. Next up, we'll take a look at our futures. It's 7:27 p.m. Eastern Time, my time. Dow futures are flat. S&P futures down about 1. NASDAQ futures are flat currently. For your conference calls tomorrow, you have Deere. All right, so Deere has earnings before the bell tomorrow, and their conference call is at 10 o'clock. And then you have a conference call at 11 o'clock, SPRT. And that's it for your conference calls tomorrow. As you can imagine, traders will be probably traveling tomorrow, and executives and whatnot. So that's your earnings calls, courtesy of Earnings Cast. All right, so let's go through some of the markets now. You see the SPY breaking out to record highs again on the SPY. The Dow was up 160 points today, so very strong markets today. The NASDAQ composite up 72 points on the NASDAQ. QQQs breaking out to new all-time highs here on the Qs. So a very powerful move in the markets today. IWM pushed up nicely after holding that 145 area, and now breaking out to new all-time highs here on the IWM. IWC also moving up, holding above the 50 SMA. Nice turnaround here from about $90, $91 a share, and moving up to about 95 now. Looks like it's headed up to that 96, 97 area to retest those highs on the IWC. If we go ahead and look at the OIH, though, the service sector for the oils, not doing too well. Kind of looks like a bear flag here on the OIH, and that's such names as Schlumberger, Halliburton, and Rig all look pretty pretty much like bear flags here. Look like they're ready to break down again on the oil services sector. Silver not doing much today. Gold just basically hanging below the 50 SMA, so not much action there. The IYT, the transports, been holding this 150, starting to turn back up. And if we go ahead and look at them on the Dow transports here, that 9400 area held, the 150 SMA, the 9400. Now we need to get back over, looks like about that 9700 to try to get back over the 50 SMA for the transports. Let's just take a quick look at some of the airlines. American Airlines starting to get back over the 50 SMA. LUV turning back up after holding the 300 SMA. It held it here, and starting to move back up. JetBlue also turning back up here on JetBlue. Delta Airlines also getting back above the 50 SMA, and LUV Oh, we just did LUV, sorry. UAL, that's the one I'm thinking of. UAL, still kind of in the doghouse here on UAL. Although we had a bottom here, we made a bottom back here at 56, and we're starting to turn back up, but still below the 50 SMA on that name. Let's go ahead and look at some of the Dow stocks real fast. Apple trying to get back over the 10 SMA, or actually getting back over the 10 SMA on Apple. So it looks like it's ready to move up higher there on Apple. Boeing looks like it's setting up again here on Boeing to head back up. McDonald's also looks very strong. McDonald's, let's check that one out. Back over the 10 SMA after taking a brief pause here. Held above the 20 SMA, now turning back up on McDonald's. We'll look at Goldman Sachs, not doing too much. Cisco, after their earnings, holding above the earnings gap right now. Intel, we'll look at that. Whoops, Intel right there. They had their earnings gap up, but now we're kind of holding around this 20 SMA on Intel. And just for the Dow stocks, we'll look at Nike. Nice pop here after their earnings, holding above that. And Microsoft, we'll take a look at that. Looks like it's trying to get back over the 10 SMA, back over that 84 area on Microsoft. So that one holding up well. We'll look at JP Morgan, trying to get back over the 20 SMA, the red line you see there. The red moving average, excuse me. And let's just take a look at the XLF, holding the 50 SMA, trying to get back over the 20 SMA for the XLF. So that's some of the Dow stocks. Here's ExxonMobil, not looking too pretty. Walmart, after the earnings gap up, the pullback to the 5 EMA here. Goldman Sachs came out and put a neutral on this, and that made it sell off a bit, but it's holding pretty strong here on the 5 EMA. So that's your Dow stocks. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the biotech stocks. Amgen, Celgene. Whoops, hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Celgene, also not looking too good, and Gild, G-I-L-D. Juno did break down over that 60 spot, but now pulling back from it on Juno. Let's take a look at the IBB real fast. Didn't really, participate too much today. And the chart not looking too pretty here. Still below resistance here, and still below the 20, still below the 50. But it is trying to hold this 200 SMA here, the green moving average you see here. We are trying to hold that, but not much of a pop today with the rest of the market, IBB. So a little bit sluggish there. BIIB. Also Biogen, trying to hold this 100 SMA. All right, so that's some of your stocks going around the horn. Let's go ahead and get into the watch list for tomorrow. I'm going to be watching this ARDX. Nice pop here. We'll see if we get some kind of continuation move. 1.6 million shares on ARDX. Maybe, wants to get back up to the 200 SMA here. Came up to it once, pulled back. Now it's starting to turn the corner here on ARDX. BlackBerry gave a little bit of a pop here today, so let's see if this has anything, if there's any chance of getting over 1075 on this name for BlackBerry and maybe resetting up for a swing trade. CBIO, strictly a day trader here on CBIO. Looking for this one to turn back up over the highs of today. CLSN, after that upgrade, I believe it was Oppenheimer, upgraded it up to $9. So gave a big push, big volume came into the name. So we'll see if this sets up again for intraday today. I'm sorry, for tomorrow, excuse me. COGT, nice pop here on COGT, but has work to do. Volume came in. We'll have it on watch. Not a favorite though. CYCC. Nice turning of the corner here. All right, we had this basing going on. Now we are back above the 50 SMA. So we'll see if there's any kind of continuation move through the highs today, which on this name was 191. So maybe 195 gets us up through 2 on CYCC, 1.9 million shares. DMPI, nice pop here today. And then after hours, it did break that $1 and it got up to about $1.06 area, DMPI. and so we'll keep this one on watch for maybe an intraday setup. EKSO, we traded this on Monday. We got a beautiful pop in this EKSO, so we'll see if this wants to set up intraday for Wednesday. FENG, nice pop today. Maybe a red to green move. 5 million shares traded in the name. Big pop. So we'll see if this sets up intraday. GROW, we traded this today and we got a nice pop in it. And then it continued up in the afternoon. So we'll have this one on watch to see if there's any kind of additional setup. HMNY. You know, try to trade in this today. Just wouldn't break through that 1450, 1460 spot. So if it does that tomorrow, maybe I'll try this one again over that 1450, 1460 area, and then maybe we get that popped up to 15 and through it. IZEA got a great trade in this one in the afternoon today. Got in at $4 and about 66 cents, and it popped all the way up to 553. Now I didn't get all of that because it halted. When it came out of halt, I sold the rest, and I didn't get filled all that much. I didn't get my full shares, but gave a very nice afternoon trade on IZEA. So we'll see if there's any more action in this one for tomorrow. KTOV, nice pop, nice volume. We'll see if this sets up intraday. Mosey, starting to turn the corner here, maybe over this 150 spot on Mosey. Maybe we get a continuation move in that name. 2 million shares traded in Mosey today. MZOR looks like it's setting up again. Possible $62 break, maybe 62.25 for possible swing trade here on this name. But you have to play it light because it's pretty volatile, this stock. So you have to play it light and see if you can get a pop up there on that name, MZOR. Not an easy one to swing trade though. NEOT finally broke out. We talked about this one in previous videos. Finally took out that 140. Now can it take out 150? We'll have to see. Volume 1.1 million shares traded in the name. It's a very slow, sluggish mover, but we'll see on NEOT. RIGL trying to get over this 4 spot. All right, kind of reminds me of Zynga here. All right, Zynga finally broke over that 4 spot. We spoke about this one on a previous video. So RIGL, maybe this one wants to do the same, break out over that 402 area and make a move up on RIGL. SBUX, it's not a favorite, but it is trying to get back over the 200 SMA. So I don't know if this will do anything tomorrow, but we'll have it on watch for the next coming weeks to see if this wants to turn the corner back up on Starbucks. SORL, we had the big pop after earnings. We've pulled back. We're still holding above the 10, holding above the 5. We'll see if this thing wants to bounce and turn back up. About 600,000 shares traded in SORL on that name. SRAX, we got a really nice trade in this one today. So we'll see if this one wants to set up again for a trade tomorrow. 2.7 million. SSC. This is also a blockchain stock. It popped. Look at the volume that came in, this expanding volume here, 1.1 million shares in that name today. So we'll see if there's any kind of setup in SSC. This is blockchain like Riot. And look at the big pop here you had in Riot. And then MARK also gave a really nice pop. So maybe SSC wants to participate also here on this name, SSC. TRIP, that unusual options activity I mentioned from the trade exchange, 12 million shares traded. We'll see if this thing wants to maybe make a continuation move on TRIP. VAL trying to take out this 1050, 1055 spot. We held the 200. We kind of bounced off of it. Now let's see if it can get over, 1055 on this name, VAL. YRD. If this thing ever gets back over the 50 SMA here on YRD, 1.6 million shares, maybe like 45.20 for a possible swing trade entry. But this, once again, is a very volatile one. So maybe just an intraday trade on YRD if it gets back over, 45 here and back over the 50 SMA, which is currently at 45.05. So 45.10 might be a good entry on this YRD. All right, so that's your watch list for Wednesday. I won't be doing a watch list for Wednesday night into Thursday because the market is closed, and I will not be doing one Thursday into Friday. So this will be the last video until probably Sunday night, I guess. So thank you very much for being subscribers to my YouTube channel. Please hit the like button down at the bottom, and if you're new to the videos, hit that subscribe button so you'll receive an email whenever I update my videos, okay? All right, thank you very much for listening. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com. I will put down in the description the promotion we're running for Black Friday. It's $30 for 30 days of my service, the full service, Omnovia, the private feed, swing trades, day trading. So you could come try us for 30 days for $30. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night.